Pranamsi. I have a beautiful question from Nikhil. Gentleman is from Mumbai. He asks, Namaste, sir. Namaste, Nikhil. Can you please guide on how should we deal with power dynamics in relationships, at work, or even at home? Nikhilji, power dynamics seems to prevail in every segment of society. People often dream of Ramayana times, quoting Ramayana left and right. One wonders if there was peace at all then. The power wielded by Kaikeyi. Who can forget that? That brings chills all over the body. Imagine the moment when Raja Dashrath had to fulfill her promises that resulted later in heart attacks that killed him. Mother Sita, she succumbs to humiliation on occasions after occasions. 14 years of Vanavasa undergone by this trio of Lord Rama, Mother Sita, and loyal brother Lakshman. Finally, Lord Rama ends up taking Jal Samadhi in river Saryu near Ayodhya. Why such a long story to your inquiry? I, as an employer, did witness many individuals wielding their power politics, and now, as a president of Sri Ramchandra Mission, I do witness all sorts of complexities. As an employer, was I able to get rid of those guys who were good at their work, who were very efficient? I could see the loss if I did let go of such individuals who were indispensable. Fighting against this power play has only one solution: how good you are with your expertise. If you become indispensable, your boss will always side with you. Loaded question, Nikhil, that power dynamics at home and at work. It stems from this same root cause, clash of ego. We can talk a lot about this question, but I will try to keep it very brief. My suggestion is simple: cultivate humility. Humble people don't break like a giant oak tree on stormy night. Instead, their heart is like the soft reed that survives the storm and rises to bask in the sun the next day. Humility is a sign of inner strength. It breeds true courage, the courage of humble people that truly helps break through the barriers. Have you seen the tiny, tender, hairy roots of the tree break through the toughest bedrock? These insignificant and almost invisible, seemingly powerless roots, they force the way for the mother root to go deeper and make the tree even stronger. Likewise, the most impenetrable stone like ego barriers, pride, and prestige are broken down by heart filled with humility like those soft roots. So be humble, be loving, and be authentic. At work, there is a need for self protection, no doubt, because there is competitiveness. Even at work, humility will help in any power dynamics. If one is competent and skilled, they get their due. We all know the story of Steve Jobs, who was ousted from his own company, Apple. And in few years, he made a strong comeback. Recently, I was reading about Michael Dell and how he quietly remade his company and went on to create immense wealth for investors. Both Steve Jobs and Michael Dell were competent, and they outlived the power struggle. become indispensable for your job, become so good that come what may, people need you on their side all the time. How does humility help in becoming indispensable? Humility is an attitude where I know what I am, I understand why I ought to be, and acknowledge the gap between the two. When one is aware that there is a lot they might not know, it's okay. It shows intellectual humility. Great scientists, the masters, and experts have an innate quality of humility, making them lifelong learners in their area of expertise. Their perfection comes from the humility they carry within their heart. So, in short, answer is humility. Curb your ego. Best of luck. We have another question. I've been trying hard to work on curbing my anger, but isn't there such a thing as righteous anger? This is from Charu Sharma from Patna. Well, there is a quote I once read, and it goes like this: holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Charu, I'm happy to learn that you are focused on curbing your anger. But why focus on what is righteous and not righteous anger? Right or wrong, the burn from anger is here to stay. Instead of focusing on the righteousness of anger, focus on postponing your anger. Delay it as much as you can. Buy time. We are all experts in postponing things. We postpone our exercise, don't we? We postpone meditation. We postpone calling our parents, and so on. Let's add anger to the top of our list in postponing, like the way we usually postpone vital things. Delaying anger and see what happens. Secondly, look to the summit and not into the valleys. If you want to rise from the valleys of anger, look at the summits of compassion. Become magnanimous with your compassion. Give loving kindness and focus on that instead of focusing on how much anger was removed. Like the lighting of a lamp dispels darkness, the glow of compassion, your awareness, will drive the anger out. Finally, yes, there is righteous anger, and that can simply be expressed as anger that helps one become a better person. Another scenario I like to bring to your mind that is it okay if your girlfriend or your boyfriend is busy with double dating? You as well as your best friend. Why even waste your anger? However justifiable, anger always hurts. More so to a person who is angry. That does not mean to hide away from expressing yourself in careful manner. Often, we tend to lose temper when things do not happen as per expectation, or when we witness some level of betrayal or breaking of an agreement we may have had with our dear ones. Anger is like a fire. That burning coal, I gave you an example. It's like a matchstick that can burn down whosoever it touches. In the process, it burns the matchstick as well. Righteous anger, of course, it is there. Only to console yourself that you are right in getting angry. But does that solve your problem? Expressing anger is an art. If you can pretend to be angry while keeping your heart in check, will be the best form of expression to correct the situation. Expressing displeasure can also become romantic. Some couples fight with anger that makes others shiver. There are couples who fight and argue with so much of love that it makes you wonder at the level of understanding and maturity, while some may not be even disputing over an idea, but one would perceive as if they are at each other's throat. We have another question, that is, how to manage children lovingly when they completely refuse to do something that is necessary for their well being and they have tantrums. How to then best communicate to them? For example, going to bed, getting dressed for school, eating healthy food. Well, this is a question from Sister Anita, Manchester, United Kingdom. Well, tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand, said Confucius. This is true for all of us, whether we are children or grown ups. So, the key to instilling good habits in children is by becoming a role model. Parents are the role models for children, especially little ones, preteen years. When anthropologists studied ancient cultures, be it Mayan culture or the Inuits, what they found was that children were involved at home from an early age, making the bed, setting the table, cleaning the home, and so on and so forth. Parents in these cultures took extra efforts to ensure that the children were actively involved. Instead of telling, do with your children, work with them, you want them to go to bed. Change the routine at home to facilitate early bedtimes. You want them to read, then read with them. Make it playful and not instructional. As we grow up, we lose our playful nature. Children come into our lives to reinstill our playful nature. Play with them and guide them during play. Finally, a tantrum is a preemptive declaration of war. De-escalation is the key. If we confront a toddler having tantrum, they will match us decibel for decibel. Haven't you experienced it? Key thing here is to distract their attention with humor and de-escalate the situation. Finally, remember that we need to discipline our love and not love discipline. Raising children is an act of growing in our own ability to love.